Recognizing the member for Richmond-Steveston.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I recognize that I am speaking on the traditional territories of the Lekwungen people, in particular the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations. There is a lot of grief in this world, Madam Speaker, and at times it can be overwhelming. It seems as if time passes and new tragedies unfold, causing suffering and heartbreak for all those affected. And because we are all connected, we feel grief for those we have never met and will never meet. Young people are acutely feeling this grief. The world is in turmoil, housing and employment can be challenging, and the biggest threat of all looms on the horizon: climate change. If we don't act collectively and decisively, every place on Earth will feel its devastating effects. No place will be spared, and the most recent IPCC report says that our window to save our future is nearly closed. The leading edge of climate change is already here. In BC, we've faced multiple natural disasters, which were greatly amplified by the effects of climate change. Warmer air temperatures allow for atmospheric rivers that can carry devastating amounts of precipitation. Longer, drier, hotter summers have resulted in unprecedented forest fires and heat domes. Catastrophic weather events are happening around the world, and those affected first and worst are always the most vulnerable, and that's almost always women and children. I think that's why we're seeing young women and girls take their place at the front of climate movements worldwide, effectively organizing people in response to climate threats and catalyzing local action to address climate change. This year's International Women's Day theme is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. UN Women states, quote, "With the latest data, we now understand the vital link between gender, social equity, and climate change, and recognize that without gender equality today, a sustainable future, an equal future, is out of reach," end quote. Working together, we can solve the problems of today with solutions that also make necessary strides toward a clean, green future that doesn't leave anyone behind. And that is important. A better future for all must mean a better future for all. Here in BC, we are a North American climate leader, fighting climate change through our Clean BC plan. Because we put people at the center of everything we do, our climate action doesn't start and end in one ministry. We're planning for the jobs of the future and ensuring people get the skills they need to be successful and support their families. This means accelerating skills training opportunities for Red Seal automotive technicians to learn the skills needed to work on EVs, which is important because BC is a leader in adoption of EVs. Just last year, 13% of all new light-duty vehicles sold in BC were zero emissions. We're investing more than ever in expanding high-speed internet to more rural, remote, and First Nations communities in BC. Access to high-speed internet ensures that people are able to access better services and educational and economic opportunity. High-speed internet helps diversify rural economies and provides a better quality of life for families. The BC Wildfire Service is moving to a year-round service model that will incorporate prevention and mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. And many of the communities that need year-round wildfire service are rural, so this will keep good jobs in local communities at the same time as addressing safety and climate needs. Madam Speaker, as you can see, effective climate action requires all of us working together to make our world a better place to live. Clean BC and the Roadmap to 2030 set the sectoral targets that will keep us on track to reduce emissions and fight climate change. We are fortunate to live here in BC, which has unparalleled natural beauty. We care deeply about protecting our natural environment for generations to come and want our children to have a better life than we ourselves did. In BC, our climate action isn't limited to our borders. When other jurisdictions see that we're making real progress in the fight against climate change and our economy is vibrant and inclusive at the same time, they're going to copy our homework, which is great. It's time for BC to lead, as we've already done with Clean BC, and continue to add to that solid foundation. We are the envy of many places with our nearly 99% carbon-free electricity. Decarbonization by substituting fossil fuels with electricity is an opportunity for BC. Businesses are adapting their processes and experimenting with solutions to reduce their climate impact. Our entrepreneurs are hard at work, bringing new technologies to market that can be used to reduce greenhouse gases and fossil fuel consumption, here and in the rest of the world. Most cities face three major sources of emissions: transportation, buildings, and industry. We're taking action to tackle all three in Clean BC. The result will be reduced emissions, good family-supporting jobs, and more comfortable and equitable places to live. Existing building stock is not very energy efficient, so we're providing grants and other incentives to adopt climate solutions like heat pumps. Decreasing our demand for fossil fuels creates independence for consumers against the fluctuation of fossil fuel commodity markets. BC's green electricity is abundant, and First Nations in BC are getting off of diesel generators, which are expensive and generate GHGs, and onto solar electricity. These projects are celebrated by First Nations as important milestones in their economic independence, as well as ensuring the comfort of community members and protecting the environment. Transportation is also a major source of carbon emissions, with the worst culprits being single-occupancy vehicles. That's why it's so important that active transportation and rapid transportation is included in every transportation upgrade, like the Patello Bridge and Massey Corridor, especially considering the longevity of the built environment. Industry may have some of the hardest emissions to reduce. Transitioning to BC's carbon-free electricity can present a challenge when the solution hasn't been invented yet. To that end, the BC Industry Fund is an important part of the support offered to businesses to accelerate the transition from take, make, waste to a circular strategy. There is no single solution to climate change. It requires us to act with urgency, intensity, and empathy. Why empathy? Because we are all in this together. Our collective climate successes that leave no one behind will be our legacy.